From RareGem Productions, this is Let's Get It Together.
Support for Let's Get It Together comes from the Kwame Building Group, delivering total value through pure construction and program management services.
In the classroom, grab a notepad. Today we learn about the beautiful Ernestine Shepherd, the woman that holds the Guinness World Record as the oldest female bodybuilder.
You have to figure out why you want to do this. Make a commitment to do this. My mantra is determined, dedicated, disciplined to be fit. And that's what I do every day of my life. I'm 76 years of age, and I'm proud to say it.
All this and more, so let's get it together. We'll be right back. I'm Jade Harrell. This is the classroom, where we get a front row seat to expert instruction, information, and access. You won't leave the way you came. This classroom is all about knowledge. And knowledge is power. And the power is yours. Now, let's get it together. Ernestine Shepherd is in better shape than most people decades her junior. She spends her days running, lifting weights, and working out. She's a certified personal trainer at her gym. Feeling better than she did at 40, bodybuilding champion Ernestine Shepherd shows us that being out of shape as we age truly is an option, not a mandate. She is a role model, not just for senior women everywhere, but for each one of us.
What really had started me exercising was the fact that my sister and I were invited to a church picnic. My husband was the chairman of the trustee board, and he told us we could wear bathing suits. She and I hadn't been in a bathing suit in years. Mm-hmm. So we went to the store to purchase these suits.
Yes.
She looked at me and laughed, and I turned around and looked at her. She said, "We can't do this." She says, "We can't put on any bathing suits." So we left them. Mm-hmm. However, we went to the picnic, and we were sitting by the pool, and we heard others talking about a place where they were going to exercise. So we whispered to each other and said, when we leave here, which was on a weekend, that we were going to go to this place and sign up to exercise. So that's what we did.
So it was out of vanity at first?
Oh, you know it was.
Yes. And I recognize.
And do you know, within a matter of a couple of months, because we followed everything that the instructor told us to do, our bodies had begun to change.
What was the change you saw?
Well, I had gone in, I weighed like 145 pounds. I never was big at the top, but my hips were wide. And I noticed from doing the aerobics and eating better, I noticed that my hips had gotten smaller. And the instructor noticed that with both of us, and he mentioned to us to start lifting weights. My sister was for it. I wasn't. However, she went in and started lifting the weights, and I was shamming, doing nothing. When I looked, my sister had begun showing muscle mass in her arms. And then next thing I knew, she was in the newspapers and giving speeches and everything else. And I had the audacity to get jealous and angry.
Ain't that so?
And so then she said to me, "If you want this joy that I'm having, well, you had better get started." So I did.
And now you know what the joy she was referring to.
Yes, I do.
Still to come, Ernestine shares how her love for her sister got her started, but her commitment to her got her to the championship.
The people that I'm training, I'm not training them to be bodybuilders. I'm training them to be healthy as they can. Because if you work out, you can fight diabetes, Alzheimer's, you name the different things, heart problems. When I started really working out, really working out, don't you know I don't take any high blood pressure medicine. I don't take any type of medication whatsoever.
We'll be right back. I'm Jade Harrell. This is producer Jade Harrell. If an apple a day can keep the doctor away, imagine what a daily dose of positivity can do. Every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, RareGem Productions proudly presents The Positive. 10 a.m., your mid-morning 15-minute me time. RareGem Productions proudly presenting The Positive.
Let's get it together.
Class is back in session. Let's continue with Ernestine Shepherd, world record holder, 76, and world champion bodybuilder.
When my sister and I really got to lifting weights, she said to me, she called me Teeny. She says, Teeny, what we're going to do, since we've been out speaking to other ladies, we want to motivate and inspire other people about the importance of living a healthy, confident lifestyle. I said, how do we go about doing this? And she set up a program. What she said to me was that we would have to eat correctly every day. You can't practice anything. You practice what you preach.
Yeah.
So we have to make certain that we do that. She says, what we're going to do, because I used to be a blonde, not that there's anything wrong with having blonde hair, and I wore the long fingernails. I didn't get them cut. You know the false nails that you put on? Well, I kept them really, really long. She said, there's nothing wrong with that, but in order for us to do what we're going to do, we're both going to have to change. We have to have a hair style that would be conducive to training, that we won't be concerned about sweating.
All right.
She said, what we're going to do, set up our meal plans, have them all ready, 5 to 6 small meals a day. We know that we need to drink plenty of water, and we know we need to do cardio. And she said, what's going to happen to us is that we are going to be 2 senior ladies in the Guinness Book of World Record.
Come on now.
And Ripley's Believe It or Not. She says, we can achieve this.
Oh, my.
But if anything were to happen to me, I want you to continue with what's going on. I said, why would you say that to me? I said, vice versa.
Right.
If anything would happen to you, you would have to continue. Let me know if I'm talking too much.
No, you're fine.
So, anyway, we kept doing what we were doing. However, one day, we were riding in the car, and she said to me, do you know, I awakened this morning, and it felt like I had my hair too tight on my head. My hair in a ponytail with a rubber band on it. I said, well, what did you do? She said, I opened it, and I put my head under the faucet and ran cold water on it. I said, well, did it get better? She said, kind of. So we dismissed that. Then she came along another time and told me that she couldn't see out of one eye. I said, well, what do you think is causing that? She says, I don't know. I said, do we need to go to the doctor? She says, no. Then she told me it felt like blood was running through her ears. These are things that she told me every now and then. I said, well, do you know what's causing that? She said, no. I said, well, we've got to go to the doctor. But she says, oh, I'll be all right. So we didn't go. Then the next time she said to me, I awakened this morning and didn't know who I was. So I said, I've had enough, and I was at work. I said, I'm coming home to get you, and we're going to the hospital.
That's right.
However, my mother and other sister had gotten to the house ahead of me, and she was able to throw the keys through the mail slot for my mother and sister to get in because she couldn't open the door. So they carried her to the hospital. I got there. And I said to her, you don't know how you worried me. I said, when you get yourself together, I'm going to tell you about yourself.
All right.
So, anyway, they took her in and examined her. They came out and told us something we weren't expecting to hear, that she had a brain aneurysm. And it had already burst, and they were going to put her on life support. Well, I went to pieces because I really didn't think that she was that sick, and neither did she. And she always told me, she says, if anything were to happen to me, and she was a wise girl, she says, I don't want to be on life support, and you have to be there to say no. Mm-hmm. Well, I finally cried and whatever, and I said no. Then I ran around the hospital because she died. And I said to my baby sister, now I don't have anyone. What am I going to do? She said, you have me. But that wasn't what I wanted at that time. Right. I went in the house after her funeral. I was able to sing at her funeral the Lord's Prayer by Gates because she always liked to hear me sing. I was able to do that. Then I went in the house, and, honey, I was the ugliest person that you'd want to meet. I was nasty. I didn't like people. I lost my faith. I didn't want to go to church, and that was something I always did. I didn't want to do any of those things. My mother came to me and said, name 5 things that God has done for you to keep you alive. I said, I don't want to tell you. And I stayed in the house. High blood pressure, acid reflux, panic attacks, depression, and just plain ugliness. And one day, in a dream, my sister came to me and she said, you're not doing what I asked you to do. I want you to get up and do what I asked you to do. I didn't do it right away. But then, after a while, I got up and I worked my way into church, and the organist was playing a hymn, Here I Am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling through the night. I will go, Lord, where you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. And I sat there, and the tears came in my eyes. And the next thing I knew, I said, restore to me the joy of my salvation. Restore to me the joy of each new day. Give me back the love that I once had for you, and never, ever let me slip away. I left that church. I came home. I told my husband that I was ready to get back on the program that my sister had. He said, what do you want me to do? And I told him to help me make sure that I get to the gym, make sure that I eat correctly, help me prepare my food. Don't you know that's what he did? It was a friend my sister and I trained with. His name was Raymond Day. He came to get to me every day to take me to that gym. And on days when I said I didn't want to go, he said, this train is moving. And I went on to the gym with him. He got me to a good point. And he kept saying to me, you're not doing one other thing. I said, what? He said, you know, you're supposed to get in the Guinness World Records. So what you have to do is really start bodybuilding now. So I saw Ernie at a show, and I walked up to him, and I told him I wanted to start bodybuilding. He said, it's going to be a long journey. Are you ready for it? I said, yes. That's when I started working out with Ernie at age 71. In a matter of 7 months, he had me ready to appear on the stage. Isn't that something?
That is amazing.
The people that I'm training, I'm not training them to be bodybuilders. I'm training them to be healthy, to be as healthy as they can. Because if you work out, you can fight diabetes, Alzheimer's, you name the different things, heart problems, high blood pressure. When I started really working out, really working out, don't you know I don't take any high blood pressure medicine?
How about that?
I don't take any type of medication whatsoever.
Look at that.
no supplements, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. But you will say that we do need support.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. You have to figure out why you want to do this. Make a commitment to do this. My mantra is determined, dedicated, disciplined to be fit. And that's what I do every day of my life. I have to get up and say my prayers. That's important because I do love the Lord. And there's nothing I can do without Him in my life. And then I get up, I go out, I do my walk or my run. I come back, I do my training at the gym, and I train others. And I love these people that I train. Yes. Each and every one of them.
Let's Get It Together is made possible by the grace, mercy, and provision of our God. Each day, try Him, trust Him, and learn more in the BIBLE each day. Make Let's Get It Together your access to information, education, and opportunity. Subscribe to the podcast. Find information about our guests. News, notes, and video are ready for you at LGI2.com. That's LGI2.com.
This week, get a fresh new outlook. Let's get it together. Be inspired, informed, encouraged, and entertained. Let's get it together. In the classroom each day at 10 a.m. Information, access, and opportunity. Let's get it together.
Special thanks to Selena J., Anthony Wise, Robin Boyce, Al McDonald, the RareGem family, Harrell, Clear Channel Radio, and Christopher Harrell.
Support for Let's Get It Together comes from the Kwame Building Group, delivering total value through pure construction and program management services.
From RareGem Productions, this is Let's Get It Together.